Good morning, children. In today's English grammar session, I will discuss with you about degrees of comparison. Let's start with degrees of comparison. Children, I'm beginning the session with a table. Look at this table, children. This table is having three separate columns. First column is showing you some words. Second column is headed with comparative, and the third column is having one heading. It is showing superlative. So children, first I am just describing the table in front of you. Suppose the core word is big, comparative bigger, and superlative is biggest. Look at the figure, children. Here you are getting a normal figure in the word column, a bit enlarged figure in the comparative column, and biggest figure in the superlative column. So let me start once again. Big, bigger, biggest. Small, smaller, smallest. Hot, hotter, hottest. Cold, colder, coldest. Tall, taller, tallest. Short, shorter, shortest. Fat, fatter, fattest. Thick, thicker, thickest. Happy, happier, happiest. Children, this is the table actually carrying the degrees of comparison. This is said to be the degrees of comparison. Now I will go to the actual explanation about degrees of comparison. Before reaching to the actual explanation, children, I am giving you some time. Please once again go through the table. Now let's start. What are degrees of comparison? Children, degrees of comparison are adjectives that change form and are used to compare one thing or person to another. So, what is degrees of comparison? Degrees of comparison is actually changing of forms in adjective, and they are used to compare one thing with another. Children, degrees of comparison are applicable to adjectives and adverbs. But remember, they are not applicable to noun and verbs. So, key things to remember over here: degrees of comparison are applicable to adjectives and adverbs, not to nouns and verbs. Children, actually, degrees of comparison are of three types. What are they? Number one, positive degree. Now, I will explain with you what is positive degree. The positive degree of an adjective in comparison is the adjective in its simple form. It is used to denote the existing state of a person or thing and is used when no comparison is made. Children, when I am explaining this, during this period, some unwanted interruption has come to me. Let me explain this positive degree once again with you. What is actually positive degree? The positive degree of an adjective in comparison is the adjective in its simplest form. It is used to denote the existing state of a person or thing and is used no comparison and is used when no comparison is made. That means what is positive degree? Positive degree means it is used to denote the existing state, means in whichever state the person or the thing is belonging, and is used when no comparison is made. Simple, try to understand. It is used to denote the existing state of a person or thing and is used when no comparison is made. That means during positive degree, we just don't go for any comparison. Comparison starts from the next two, or we can say comparison starts in next two areas. Number two, second types of comparison is comparative degree. The comparative degree of an adjective in degree of comparison denotes the higher degree of the quality than the positive. So, what it denoting? It is denoting the higher degree of quality than the positive degree. It is used when two things or two set of things are compared. So remember that it is denoting or it is showing the higher degree of the quality than the positive. And secondly, it is used when two things or two sets of things are compared. Now I'm coming to the third point, that is superlative degree. What is superlative degree? The superlative degree conveys the highest quality of a person, of a thing. The highest quality of a person or a thing. So what is superlative degree? The superlative degree conveys actually the highest quality of a person or a thing. When it is used when more than two people or things are compared. So remember that we use superlative degree when more than two people or things are compared. Now look at this picture. This picture is actually showing you 3 degrees. If happy is the positive degree, then happier is the comparative degree and happiest is the superlative degree. Similarly, if good is the positive degree, When we are comparing between two things, then the comparative degree is better. And when we are comparing more than two things, then best is the superlative degree. Same way, useful, comparative degree of that more useful, and superlative degree of that is most useful. Now come to the fourth point, young. Positive degree is young, comparative degree of that is younger, and superlative degree of that is youngest. Similarly, sweet, sweeter, and the sweetest. And last, it is hot. Comparative degree when we are comparing among two things, or when we will better, I must say, when we are comparing between two things, that is comparative one is hot, hotter, and when we will compare among three things, then or more than three things, then we will say hot, hotter, hottest. Now children, we will go through more details about comparative degree as well superlative degrees. When we compare two people or things, we use the comparative form of the adjective. Okay? Remember that the noting point is that when we compare two people or things, we use the comparative form of the adjective. We form comparative adjectives by adding er to the positive. How? Some example words are given with you. Tall, taller. That means after tall, er is added to make it comparative. Big, bigger. So, with big, er is added to make it comparative. Small, smaller. Nice, nicer. Kind, kinder. Now, one more important thing to remember. Adjectives of three or more syllables form their comparatives with more. Okay, children? Adjectives of three or more syllables form their comparatives with more. Example words: beautiful, more beautiful; difficult, more difficult; pleasant, more pleasant; careful, more careful. Children, we are reaching towards the end point. Here we will discuss the greater details about the superlative degree. So these are some key points, you have to remember them. When we compare three or more people or things, that means what? When we compare three or more people or things, we use the superlative form of the adjective. We make the superlative forms by adding est to the positive adjective. So what to remember? Secondly, we make the superlative form by adding est. That means we will add est at the end of the original word and we can make it as the superlative degree of adjective. Suppose the core word is soft, the comparative degree of soft is softer and the superlative of soft is softest. Tiny, tinier, tiniest. Clever is the positive degree, cleverer is the comparative degree, and cleverest is the superlative degree of clever. High, higher, highest. Now, the last key thing you have to remember is that adjectives of three or more syllables form their superlative forms with most. What to remember? Adjectives, those adjectives which are having three or more syllables form their superlative with the help of most. Now, Come to the example word. Intelligent, comparative degree of that is more intelligent, and superlative degree of that is most intelligent. Likewise, ridiculous, more ridiculous, and most ridiculous. Children,